was no parents calling in, and we can't have enough with nothing.
We have what we call the golden hour. It's the first hour after an injury. There are things we can do in that golden hour that can prevent permanent damage or death.
That's right.
Because the boy was a minor, they needed a legal consent in order to operate, and they couldn't find his parents.
He was always a very punctual man. He never stayed away from home when I didn't know where he was or when he would be back. And it was way too late. He should have been home.
Last year, the freeze brought our power grid and millions of us to a screeching halt. Our climate is changing, but Republican politicians put politics ahead of science. I'm Jay Clayburgh, and as Land Commissioner, I'll tackle climate change.
From the Big Apple, college basketball, non-conference hoops, featuring a pair of teams that are reigning conference champs. Iona out of the MAC and Yale from the Ivy League will battle tonight in Brooklyn inside the Barclays Center.
Joseph inside doesn't have foul trouble.
When an unidentified youth suffered a serious head injury in a bicycle accident, his parents could not be located in time to give their consent for a critically needed operation. 10 miles across town, divorced parent Wes Smith was waiting for his older son Jason to get home for dinner.
He was always a very punctual son. He never stayed away from home when I didn't know where he was or when he would be back. And it was way too late. He should have been home, and he wasn't. We tried to sit down to eat, and I couldn't eat it. That terrible, terrible feeling that you get, something is wrong with what.
By this time, a doctor and a judge had signed consents, and the boy had undergone emergency surgery to help relieve the pressure on his brain.
Hi, can you hear me?
Missy and the others who called were told the doctors didn't know he would survive a coma without brain damage.
I thought the police wouldn't take the report. They'd been gone for 72 hours, but just the off chance that there was an accident involved somewhere, I thought I would call them. Hi, this is Wes. Jose. I'm the lady who responded and started asking questions about him. Joe, they may have it. It's a gut-wrenching feeling that only a parent can feel. I just knew that it was him. And of course, I didn't even know how badly he was injured, or even if he was still alive.
Carmen had been told by the police that a man would be coming by the hospital
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Carmen Castillo. I had a bag of this child's clothing, and I took out the piece of clothing that was on top, and I remember him being very saddened by that. He said he had folded those underwear many a times to know that that was his son's. So the next thing I'd like to do is go into the room.
I began to realize that this indeed was the beginning of my worst nightmare.
You can step out.
Joel was outside in the corridor. They didn't want to bring him in until we were sure it was indeed his brother. His head was completely shaven. He was all bloody on one side of his head, and he had tubes and probes and everything going all parts of his body, and the monitor going and a breather going, and you could hardly recognize him for what he was.
Need somebody to touch him. I'm okay to talk with him. We don't know whether the patient can hear or not, but if there's any remote possibility that the patient's hearing, the parent's voice would be very soothing to him.
Hi, son. Is your dad talking? How you doing, bud? I love you. Holding his hand was probably one of the hardest things I had to do. I wanted to, and I've always held his hand. But that hand was not his hand. It was like holding a dead person's hand. There was no life to it, no warmth, just a cold lump.
We stood there looking at him for the longest time, and I was thinking, I wish I could have told him that I loved him more.
I'll be your buddy. I'm not going to leave you. At that time, I thought I better call his mother, who was living in Southern California and had no knowledge of this.
Jason's mother, Jeannie Smith, immediately caught a plane to be with her son. Her brother came with her for emotional support.
Nothing could have prepared me for the sight of my precious son laying there so close to death. And the only thing that I could think of was, he's not going to make it through the night.
On that first 72 hours, it's difficult to give a good prognosis on what's going to come out. But in my heart of hearts, I did not think Jason would survive.
The first thing that Wes and I talked about was that if Jason should die, we wanted to donate parts of his body. We felt that if he did not live, that we certainly wanted somebody else to be able to live because of Jason.
I didn't have any feeling I could do anything at all for him other than hold his hand and tell him that I loved him and stand by him. And we did that for night after night and day after day.
Jason remained in a coma without any improvement for 8 days.
Carmen met me outside and said, "We have a surprise for you today. Come on in."
There's a surprise for you. Oh, great.
I walked into the room, and Jason was looking at me through one eye that was barely open and the other still completely closed and scabbed over. And he reaches up and says, "Hi, Dad." Oh, that was the most beautiful sound I've heard in Cameron. It was just beautiful. My son had come back.
15-year-old Jason Smith was hospitalized for 6 weeks. After 4 months of intensive physical therapy, amazingly, he has made a complete recovery.
I was very surprised that strangers could care about me that much. They tended to me in my hour of need when I came to a Bouncing Buddy stop on Sierra Road, and I appreciate them for saving my life. More than words could ever express. Since the accident, I have made a little card with my name, address, phone numbers of my parents, all information possible that would get me on safe ground as soon as possible.
It was such a joy to his mom's heart to see our son returning to us again. And the more that we were together, the more I realized this is my place, to be with my husband, to be with my sons.
After 8 years of separation, Wes and Jeannie Smith were remarried on November 17th, 1990.
I was the one that brought up the subject. I didn't want to be without my family anymore, so I decided to take the big plunge and ask Wes if he was still interested in remarriage. And of course he was.
Both boys really enjoyed the fact that we are family once again. Joel just beams, and he'll shove us together. Give her a hug. Give her a hug, Dad.
Oh, that's right. What I learned from this whole experience is that life is so precious. Your children are precious to you. You need to take every moment that you can and let them know how much you love them.
There's never a night that we don't kiss and hug each other goodnight. There's never a morning that